So I've been learning Arabic. I wanted to take this time to share interesting things I'm doing in order to practice and keep up with my Arabic. I did not get this advice anywhere else. These are things that I just came up with. I'm going to talk more about what I do differently this time that I've never done in my previous languages. Start a YouTube channel, not just any YouTube channel. Start a YouTube channel where you are speaking your target language and only speaking your target language. I started one and I only upload videos in Arabic. I speak zero English in this secret YouTube channel of mine. And not only that, I only consume content in Arabic on this channel. The whole channel is in Arabic. All the videos, all the recommended videos, the algorithm is fully in Arabic. And I like this idea because I think immersing yourself in the language is very important. But having this curated social media account just for your target language is awesome because you get to see content that you're interested in the language that you're learning. On this account, I get to follow a bunch of influencers and content creators that speak Arabic, and it forces me to listen to what they're saying. Like, y'all, I'm not joking. I'm not playing with you. This year is the year I'm locking in Arabic. I've been locking in. I've been hustling. And the only thing that is distracting me is social media. Like, if I go to my normal social media accounts, like my personal ones, I open that thing and there's so many distractions, there's so many ads, there's so many irrelevant things right now. Like, I'm trying to learn Arabic. I don't I don't need to watch another cat video, okay? Listen, I love those cat videos, but it really is that phone though. It is the phone. I think I was more effective in learning languages like 10 years ago. I'm not even joking. I was better at learning languages in 2015 because I think my phone is always a distraction. However, if the distraction is in your target language, I mean, is it really a distraction if that is your goal for the year? So yeah, I have a whole account where it's just in Arabic. So there's this guy that is currently doing it now with French, and literally every single day, this guy is uploading a video of him speaking in French for like 10 minutes. He talks in front of the camera, he made used to make a lot of mistakes. I found his channel like 2 3 years ago. He's still making videos. And what's interesting with this channel is you could see the progress from when he was a beginner all the way to an intermediate student. So I found his channel when he was a complete beginner, and I remember he was just talking about very basic things, and I found that super cool. There were tons of like native speakers trying to help him in the comment section, very similar to how people are helping me on TikTok. Like, every time I have a question in Arabic on TikTok, like, people are always helping me. And that is the purpose of social media, is to be social. And I think some of us live in communities where it is very difficult to find a native speaker. For me, it is difficult to find people who speak Arabic. Although I do live in a city full of people who speak Arabic, it is so difficult for me to find someone that I can practice with. So the alternative is for me to speak in front of a camera in Arabic and upload those videos. So this guy has like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, okay? And that's amazing for him, but the reward is you practicing your target language. And not only that, you build a community with it. So for me, I've uploaded like 4 videos already. And let me tell you, I've been getting views. I've been getting some comments. The good thing about these accounts is you're not there for the views. You're not there for the engagement, really. You're there to just practice languages. And for me, even in English, recording a video is already nerve wracking for me and for a lot of people. How much more in Arabic? So that's what I've been doing, I'm trying to make videos in a bunch of topics. So it's increasing my vocabulary, it's pushing me to look up a few words for different topics. This is just such an excellent way for you to grow, and there is no pressure for you because when you start up an account, in a different language, like in Arabic, I know my friends are not going to see it. Like 90% of my audience, as I could see from the analytics, 90% of my audience is currently in the Middle East. And I'm okay with that. So on this channel, I plan to do a bunch of vlogs. I plan to talk about my culture, Filipino culture. I want to show what life is like in Canada and things like that, right? Like when I see this guy that's trying to learn French and uploading videos of himself learning in French, I actually watch and try to see from his perspective where he comes from. So, as I said, I made a whole separate social media account just to learn Arabic. And you can do the same for your target language. How do we consume the content? That is really the question. And before, I used to just listen and watch the content and laugh and cry and whatever and just be entertained. But nowadays with Arabic, I felt like I really needed to have a different approach to this because I felt like if I just watch videos, just I'm not retaining the new vocabulary, I'm not retaining the new information. So what I actually do is on social media, you can actually activate captions. So whether it's YouTube or TikTok, you can activate captions. Sometimes it's just not available. But what I do is I take these captions and I write it in a notebook. And when I'm writing it in the notebook, it activates something in my brain. Honestly, there is something about using a physical notebook. I know we're all obsessed with digital, we're obsessed with our phone, with our iPad, with our computer, and these online apps and all that, but there is something about having a physical notebook where you write stuff down. What I do is, for example, I watch a vlog in Arabic. I take a good 2 minutes of that vlog, I activate the captions, and I write the captions in a notebook. And then once I write the captions in the notebook, I obviously try to look up words I don't know. I look up expressions, words. And then what I do is I do the shadowing method. So what that means is I take just those 2 minutes and I play a 15-second clip, pause. I look at my notebook, I read what was said, I read that part of the caption, and I do this daily. I try to do it daily. And this really is awesome because the key to doing this is to take a short clip only 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. But you want to take a short clip and focus on the quality instead of the quantity. The mistake I had before was choosing an hour long podcast and trying to actually listen to the entire thing and doing this for the hour long podcast. Honestly, you can do that if you are dividing it up into small pieces and some small segments and perhaps not doing the entire thing in one day, which is something I used to do, which really led to my burnout in this method I've been doing. But you want to take a short clip and you want to master that short clip in terms of the pronunciation, in terms of the vocabulary, the content within that 2 minutes or 3 minutes. You want to master it for the day. Another key is to choose content in the level that you're in. I want to make a whole video on the importance of comprehensible input. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but the important thing is that it has to be a bit higher than the level you're at. Pieces of advice for you. Number one is if you are looking at content or consuming content in which you have to look up every single word, this is too difficult. I suggest moving on to something else because if you choose content that is too difficult, like for me, I love watching documentaries. I love watching historical documentaries and stuff like that. But in Arabic, honestly, as much as I'm interested in that, like it is really difficult as a beginner to watch that kind of content. So I recommend listening to channels dedicated to providing listening. Like pretty much every major language has a YouTube channel or some kind of account that provides listening practice, you know? For Arabic, there are tons. For French, there are tons. Literally every major language, there are teachers who make content for their students, for helping them with their listening. And there is content out there for beginners, specifically for beginners. So if you're a beginner, try to check out that beginner level content. And if you're a beginner, intermediate student, I highly suggest vlogs, travel vlogs, vlogs where people are talking about their life and talking about what they want to do, talking about their plans for the weekend, talking about what they're doing for the day, stuff like that, where people are talking in first person. They're not using super advanced vocabulary, nothing too complicated, talking about daily things. Those are great. And when you're doing the shadowing for this type of content, you are actually picking up on high frequency vocabulary that you're actually going to use on a daily basis. So if you're not surrounded in an environment where there are native speakers of the language you're learning, you can artificially create it online. You can artificially create it through curating your social media so that you're immersed in that language. And again, like I said, it's not just listening to random things. You want to do it in a way that's smart and a way that's going to benefit your learning. So, yeah, my biggest tip is to not choose something that's too hard, okay? But you also want to refrain from choosing something that's too easy as well, especially for those in the intermediate level. You want to choose something that is challenging just a bit, that you are looking up words, you are looking up expressions, you are like learning things, but not in a way that is overwhelming for you. Because if you choose a text, if you're listening to something, if you're reading something that's too advanced, it's too difficult, it's too above your level, it is the equivalent to, it's like filling a glass of water with a fire. It's the hose from the firefighter truck. The fire truck. Am I going to take the hose from the fire truck and use that to fill my glass of water? My glass? I'm not. I'm gonna go to the sink like a normal person. Actually, I don't drink water from the sink. I'm not about that life. I don't trust. You're gonna get too frustrated if you find content that's too difficult, too challenging, too whatever, too above your level. This is the way people burn out. My second tip is just to have fun and consume content that you're genuinely interested in and you find interesting. All right, folks, my battery is running out and I have to go. So I hope this was helpful. This was just a tiny piece of the pie. I want to make more videos documenting my Arabic learning journey because I am doing a bunch of things that I have never done before in my previous languages. But I want to thank you if you've made it this far. I really hope that this helped you today, whether you're learning Arabic, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, or whatever language. This is all things that you could apply to your language learning journey. If you have any questions, let me know, and like and subscribe for more content. See you later.